Hey, you guys have any challenges, frustrations, needs, wants, celebrations, whatever that you want to chat about today? We're looking at you, Brad and Mom.
Yeah, everybody's took it take Friday off. What the heck?
I know, right? Anything? Brad's like, I already talked to you guys last week about appraisals. I'm like, come on.
I was trying to think. I don't have anything specific going on right now. Just navigating the, transactions, trying to stay disciplined and try to stay with my calendar.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
always,
think that's my struggle too, Brad, is to try stay with my calendar and um stay on track.
okay, so let's dive into this. I mean, I know it's a pretty simple topic, but it's something that I think a lot of us struggle with. So what is it that's keeping you from staying on track and time blocking and sticking to your time blocks?
I can speak for me personally is that I have so many like important things that happen all day that it's really easy for me to justify handling another metric as opposed to the activity that I chose that's going to move the needle forward. And so the only way that works for me to get the thing done that I don't want to do, that I always let myself off the hook for, is I have to have an accountability partner, and not just somebody I report to, but like a gym buddy, like somebody that I literally log in with, and I'm like, all right, you're gonna make calls, I'm making calls, let's go. Like we'll either jump on a Zoom or we check in before, check in after, and like we try to gamify it. That's for me the only way to stay consistent and really intentional with my activities is that. Otherwise, I'm the same way. I can immediately justify something important that's not the number one thing.
Yeah. How many of you guys actually, I know Audra does this because I see all the time when I text her, she's on Do Not Disturb, but how many of you guys actually use Do Not Disturb as a method to not have distractions?
All day. Well, I don't have it on technically do not disturb, but on my iPhone, I can set different focuses.
Yeah.
So I have like a work focus, a personal, and it blocks a lot of like if I have the work one on, for example, or I guess personal is really the one that I leave on most of the time. But if it's not saved in my contacts, it doesn't ring through. So it eliminates a lot of the spam junk, which and if somebody isn't in my contacts, they can leave me a message and I'll check it. I do check them so I can call people back. Um, but just that one thing has eliminated so much. I can sometimes if it's like, okay, I've got to make calls for this next hour or whatever, I put it on full on do not disturb so only people in my favorites can get through. So my kids, my husband, my mom, Michelle and Matt. That is my favorites list in my iPhone right now. So that's all that can get through, and that helps. And then I just call people back. It took me a long time to be okay with it not being immediately accessible. But I haven't had anybody be like, "Oh, why didn't you answer the phone?" When I call them back an hour later, no one
It's
is
about to
mad
it's
about it.
about to be it's about to be me. Now that I know I'm on your favorites list, if you don't answer it now, we're we're
What
gonna have
up?
words.
You are on the favorites list. Well, I can change that real easily though, so be careful.
Yeah, you be careful.
Um, no, I'm with you. I think we all have this sense of urgency in our field too. Like if we don't, it kind of went like the pendulum swung huge, right? There was this whole messaging for a while that was like, oh, your agent doesn't answer, your agent doesn't respond to you. And then all these agents started going out there like, I am easily accessible, I'm available 24/7, all those things. So I think the messaging got so confused that we feel this competition that we have to be always available for our clients. But I will tell you, nothing drives me more crazy than like when we're sitting in a team meeting and someone is keeps getting pings on their phone, or like they're just completely distracted and not there. And I do this too. I don't do it when I'm leading a team meeting, but I do it, a lot of times in a lot of areas of my life, and then I just feel overwhelmed. I'm not fully attentive to where I am here. I get stressed and feel guilty because I'm getting distracted. I don't get my work done. It's like it's a double-edged sword. So I think the do not disturb and the blocking out people so you can be fully present in whatever activity you're in is so important. So important. Brooke, do you do anything with do not disturb or quieting or silencing, following your calendar, all that stuff?
all the time.
Yeah.
Because if I don't put it on do not disturb or put it on silent, like I was at a listing appointment the other day and I got out of the listing appointment and I had 17 texts from people and I had 9 missed calls and I would have been so distracted but I always tell like my clients too, when I'm with somebody else, I'm gonna pay attention, to them. And I don't usually like, answer phone calls or I don't answer text messages and stuff, while I'm with somebody else. I said, unless I know we're like, I'm waiting for something really specific or we have a specific problem or something going on. I said, typically I won't, I won't talk to a different client when I'm with somebody else. But I also have to make sure that I don't spend way too long with the one client that I'm at. So a lot of times I'll like call people back or something quickly, like between showings or something, like between houses. But just setting that expectation because then they know that when I'm with them, and they notice that I'm not on the phone with somebody else or texting somebody else when I'm with them, and vice versa. So like, they notice that I'm not, and then they also know that I'm not going to answer them probably when I'm with somebody else. And they totally respect that. Plus, too, if I start checking my text while I'm with a different client, I might start thinking about something I need to do, then I'm not doing what I need to do with the client that I'm with. And it's just better to stick with the person you're with.
Brad, so you mentioned kind of like your calendar going awry. What are the specific things that is it just you're getting distracted? Are you getting pulled in too many directions? Like what's causing you not to
Yeah, I mean
stick to calendar?
it's totally me, right? Like I need to it's all about the discipline and I need to stay if I miss sometimes I work late. Like I put the kids to bed and then I hop on the computer and I'm working. So then it's like 10:30 before I'm going to bed. So waking up at 4:30 in the morning to hit the gym is hard. Some days I don't do that. And then I feel guilty about, oh, where do I go to hit the gym? Because like getting to the gym is really stress relief for me.
Yep.
It's really important. So then I modify my whole and it's totally me. Like I totally know it. So it's just staying disciplined and like forcing my like it comes down to doing the right things the night before to set me up to succeed for the next day, right? So, but yeah, it's also staying focused on the task. Like if I'm supposed to be making my calls, don't be diving into um, talking with clients about the current transactions, right? Like we're canceling a contract. I shouldn't be doing that while I'm during my call time.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to stay focused, and that stuff can wait to my email time. So, um, yeah, it's just me being more disciplined. I know what I need to do. Uh, I just get upset at myself because I
Yep.
don't do it. So,
Well,
I
it
think I
makes
think
you feel
I
any
think
better. Oh, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Matt.
No, 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 nope. Go.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, you can ask Michelle. Like last year when we were in Miami, I had like 10 things under contract and I could not stay off the phone. Like, right, Michelle?
Yeah, and then you get
Like,
frustrated with your client, frustrated with the situation. You weren't able to like enjoy like there were several times you had to walk out of the conference
oh
room
yeah, because
and
people
you
were like
done with
blowing up
that.
my phone. It
Yeah.
was, it was really like after that I was like, do not disturb or just putting it on silent. I guess I got nervous about do not disturb a lot of times because of my kids, but Missouri passed a law. The kids can't even have phones during school right now. So it's not like
Same
I
here.
can talk to, what was that? Same
Yeah,
there?
same here. Yeah.
Yeah. they can't even have their phones at all. So, I mean, but, and and I did, my 5-year-old did get sick at school and everything while we were in Miami. And so somebody had to pick him up. And they're calling me. I'm like, I'm not going to be very much use coming and picking a kid up. But I will say, I started leaning in to my transaction coordinator a lot more and just letting her handle things. Like, I just let her take care of it because most of it she can take care of.
So, what are, I think, as we talk about like that need to answer the phone, the need to be urgent, what are some tools and techniques you guys use? So, if an email comes in and you happen to see it, you can remember to look at it later, or a text, or like, how do you guys keep organized, or how could you keep organized so that if you're doing something and you get disrupted, you don't have to have that fret or worry of, I'm going to forget to do this thing. Like, what are some techniques and reminder tools you guys could use?
I mark it as unread. That's the
Yep.
simplest thing. And then I go back and I just look and see what is not read. Um, that's
Yep.
that's literally that's how I keep track. And I still miss it sometimes, but I also put on my calendar a like 15-minute, I've got two 15-minute sections where it says check text and emails. So that way I don't forget, because I will sometimes
Yeah.
do that and I'll forget. So I have to put it on there, just blocked time to go back and look at it.
I do unread on the text too, and it makes me anxious because then I see all these unread texts and I think something urgent came in. For Gmail, I can snooze and then it'll pop up and you can put a time later that it will pop back up. So I like to use snooze on that so I don't have so many unread emails. I just wish there was an equivalent for text messages that you could snooze them and have them pop back up. Because that's
Hmm.
the one I feel like I haven't figured out yet. And I don't know. Do you guys look at your phone and see you've got text messages and you're just like, what I miss?
I always have a red dot. It just
Oh
is
my gosh.
inevitable. There's always something unread in there. So I just had to make peace with it and drives my husband crazy. He's like, why do you have so many notifications? I'm like, that's how I know I still have people to talk to.
Yeah.
So,
My job.
yes. Going back to something Matt said a minute ago about having an accountability person, when so like whether it's on the team or in coaching or anything, we talk a lot about time blocking and I teach it a lot. And so telling every agent that I'm teaching it to, hey, come check mine anytime, that forces me to have my calendar time blocked and gives them permission to come and check and see if I'm sticking with it. And just that outside pressure that I better make sure that I'm doing what I'm teaching, right?
Mhm.
That that has made me more accountable to myself, more accountable, I guess. Just knowing that if I'm teaching other people to do it, I better stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom, Brad, Brooke, do you guys have any like hacks that you use to remember to get back to things when you do have the interruptions?
Well, I wish my phone had where you could mark it as unread. Matt, you're an Android user too. Am I missing something on my phone?
No.
No. It's about the first thing I've learned that Apple has that I wish I had. But I literally write myself a note. I literally have a pad of paper, like it's like a little spiral notebook thing, and I just like write down stuff that I have to do. And it stinks when I accidentally see something and while I'm driving and I forgot about it. Um, but I just write stuff down and then I go back through and I mark the stuff off as I do it. Nothing special. I send myself texts too. I'll set a text for the later in the day and I'll write down a list of things that I need to make sure we're done. And I text it to myself. Or I'll send a
I
text to my transaction coordinator and I'll say, check in with me by 3 o'clock and make sure I did this.
I love it.
Hmm.
Using your assistant as your
She's cool
reminder.
with it. She doesn't mind. So, because she's sitting at a desk and I'm not like
Yeah,
most of the day. So she doesn't mind.
cool.
I make an I usually put it on my calendar so it reminds me if I'm able to. It depends on if I'm in my car or not, but that helps.
I suppose this doesn't help you, Brooke, because you're on the opposite team, but I suppose with iPhone, you can pin messages too.
Mhm.
I actually have like my most common people pinned, but maybe instead of pinning my most common people, I need to just pin my to follow up messages.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't have that either.
Well, it sounds like good reasons to get an iPhone, folks.
Oh, I really like
Yep.
my Android.
Uh,
Yeah, I suppose we could use technology too, like Siri or whatever you guys have on your Android side that's related, where you're just, hey Siri, set me a reminder for an hour for now to follow up on my text with Lynn or whatever.
yep. Also, I'm assuming this is probably the same on Android, but if you do use the do not disturb, like not the filters, but the full on do not disturb, the notification badges don't even show up. So,
Yeah.
like the red dot of your text messages or your emails, it doesn't show up. So, if you have that on, and even if you can see your phone screen and you're sitting there and doing your other things, you're not going to see that text message come in until you turn off do not disturb. So if you get anxious about having that red dot or whatever on the notifications, it's going to eliminate some of that just by putting it on do not disturb. That's a really great function. Probably my favorite thing on my phone. And it's pretty much on like 99.8% of the time.
Mhm.
Hey, Brooke, you can mark them unread
Oh,
on
can?
Android. So
Really?
you go to the conversation and hold it down in your Google Messages, and then up in the menu, you can go to unread. And you can click unread. It'll be the whole
So if you switch,
conversation.
yeah, if you switched
What?
over to Google Messages instead of
I
the native
I
text app.
did.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you're
good.
right. It's right there.
Look at it.
I Googled it just now. I was like, there's got to be a way. They wouldn't do that. That's silly.
You just saved
That's
my life.
silly.
So
Yay.
again,
Literally.
just
You just saved me so
another
much
example,
time.
just
Ah,
another example of how Android is still way better than iPhone.
I was
I
Learn.
actually
don't
going to
think
say
so.
this is another example of how our mastermind calls are
yeah,
great
that's
because
what I
we all
thought you were
bring
gonna.
I
content
know. I
and
did
ideas to
too.
each other.
In
Oh,
truth,
no,
my
no, you can
brother.
take your blue bubble. I'll tell you what, you can put it somewhere.
Stick it blue bubble and stick it up your cornholio.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the clip of the week.
My
Oh
brother was the
man.
national marketing director for T-Mobile, and he knew that I had an Android, and I was thinking about switching to an iPhone because I have like a MacBook Pro, I have an iMac, I have like the iPad and everything.
Oh my
And my
gosh.
brother was like, "Don't switch." He said Android software is so much better than iPhone, so that's why I stuck with it.
But
Like,
man, if you switch the way that it all talks together and links
yeah.
together, I can be I can text from my phone or from my I can be on my computer texting, taking calls, whatever, everything all in one spot.
Yeah.
Everything stays up to date. Like that
Well,
is my
Audra, you
favorite
might
thing.
need to create a course on
Ooh,
how to leave, like how all your stuff integrates, because
just buy an iPhone and then it all magically does. So
I'm sure the photos would be a lot easier too.
Oh, it's so nice. And like being able to text right from your laptop and not have to
Mhm.
yeah. It's great and not great. Like I feel like you have to have do not disturb on when you're on your Zooms or whatever because it'll come through on your
Oh, shoot.
computer and not on your just your phone. It'll ding
Mhm.
everywhere.
As long though as I have the either the personal or the work or the do not disturb, even on my phone, it automatically applies it to my iPad or my laptop.
Yeah, just like if I didn't have a MacBook, I could still have my, phone on and it could buzz, vibrate, whatever, and I could kind of look at it if I didn't have to be engaged. But then again, right? We don't need to. We don't need to. But I'd always inevitably I forget to silence it and then I'm like on a call like this and you're hearing ding, ding, ding. So the moral of the story is we all know we need to get more organized. We all know we need to be less distracted. The question is, are we actually going to do it?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Build in the accountability that like have
I
someone
like
that
that.
can come in that has access to your calendar or that you share it with so that way they have a screenshot and they can have free reign to just come in and ask you about it anytime. That that will make you stick to it.
I like that. I like that. I've obviously been like super transparent that I go to therapy too. And one thing my therapist taught me when I've always felt like just that urgency and I have to respond to things. It's forever a thing that we've been working on. But she's like, you know what? If you really feel like you have to respond to someone, like you're afraid that there's something that you're gonna miss out on or whatever, she said, just respond back to people and say, hey, I'm in the middle of, whatever. I'm with someone right now. Do you need something urgent? And usually when I send that over, most people are like, oh, no, no, it can wait. Call me later. So then you get that instant response off to them if you feel like you need to provide more of that kind of like urgent response or whatever. And they're very good. And that could be even something on your do not disturb. Like you could turn on your do not disturb and then have it send the auto messages to people that was that exact message too. With a client, do you need something? Cool. What else we got, friends? It's kind of fun when we have these small groups. It's just like a chatting of friends.
I don't know. Do you guys all have occupancy inspections where you're at?
Like certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, like where they come in, like an inspector from either like a municipal inspector or county inspector or anything comes in and checks out the house to provide occupancy. This isn't even on new construction, just on any existing homes.
The only reason that would happen is if it's like a home that's been maybe condemned or not safe to live in, or obviously for rentals that we have to have them, but not just like a regular standard, like, single family home that nothing was done on it.
Brad, you're in KC, right? Do you guys have one?
Someone giving certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, like they literally come in and the in St. Louis County where I live. So St. Louis County and St. Louis City are not connected. We're like only two cities in the country that are like that. So we have if you live in the city, there's a city municipal inspection, and then St. Louis County has an inspection, and then we have like a bazillion municipalities. So some of them have their own inspection for that municipality. It's kind of confusing. And like if we have a bunch of different counties that are all part of the greater St. Louis area. So some of those counties have different occupancies. It's really, it's a lot, but you don't have any of that.
I've only dealt with it on the new builds, right?
Okay.
Because if it's flipped, they should be pulling permits to do the work.
Mhm.
I mean, theoretically they should be. So, I mean, it's already, so we haven't had it, and then we get it, and then the buyer gets it inspected. But I haven't dealt with certificate of occupancy for any existing home. It's just on the new builds.
Interesting. Wow. I was curious if anybody had else had been having occupancy issues. It's like our area is cracking down on them and they're calling out stuff like I have a client who bought a house in 2019. They basically just did cosmetic things to the house and they're requiring them to pull a whole house integrated permit. And my client's not even the one who did the work on it. It was
Hmm.
already like that when they purchased the house in 2019. And there was an occupancy inspection done in 2019. And I asked the inspector about that, and he goes, it doesn't matter. You buy the house, you're now responsible for how the house is. And if the previous person who did the occupancy didn't call out that stuff and I came behind them and called it out, it's not my fault the other person missed the stuff. So now it's going to cost my client thousands. And this is like the third time this has happened. And then we also got called out on the house that I just flipped. We just got called out on like everything that we didn't even do to the house. So we now have to go back and fix all of this stuff that has nothing to do with us. I was just curious if other people were having issues. Um, but you guys don't even have to deal with
I
them.
think this is one thing. One time we're gonna say, Brooke, we're really glad we're not like you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, we are at time. We'll let you go and enjoy your weekend. Matt will be back with Mindset Monday. And Brad, enjoy your great cornholio today.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
We'll see you later.